Hi, Annie. I just got off the phone with Krista at Highland Solutions, who's a marketer they hired in January. And they hired her because they said like our marketing is kind of all over the place, and we need someone who thinks a little bigger than we have and who can push us and help us move to the next level. So she's really great. She comes from corporate, but she is deeply drawn by Highland's people first sort of mentality. She does seem like she's smilingly at odds sometimes with John. She thinks in a different way than he does, and she's sometimes a little mystified why like he's seeking out small-time clients and promoting other people's organizations more than his own, and like why he in some ways from a marketing perspective it seems a little impractical. So she's pushing him, but she seemed great, and she talked about how we might do some co-marketing. Maybe John and Tyler or David or somebody can do some blogging, and then they talk about this book because their company is promoted in the book. And we also talked about doing an event, maybe at Highland, where we bring together people who care about organizational spirituality and do some talk about spiritual capital. And maybe I can have a stack of books at the back of the room that people can buy if they wish. So anyway, she asked if I had a website and thought maybe Highland could link to that website, and maybe we could put a link on there to Highland. So yeah, that got me thinking about the website and thinking maybe I better reach out to you and start talking about that. So let me quick do a walkthrough of the website and give some thoughts here. I think that this headline, a podcast that means spiritual business, could be it could be either revised in a small way or it could be revised in a major way. A small way might be that you just change it to a project that means spiritual business, or a conversation that means spiritual business. That would sort of leave it somewhat intact. I mean, it's sort of a clever phrase that you've come up with. One of the problems with the phrase is that I'm addressing people who don't run businesses merely. So they might be church planners, or they might be nonprofit directors, or who knows what. So if you wanted to do a more major overhaul of it, you could just say something like spiritual capital matters and here's why, or something, sort of play with the title of the book. It might be nice to have like, I love this listen now tab. It might be good to say buy the book in the next tab. Maybe you have two tabs here. And then as I move down the page, the podcast available, I think here I definitely would want to say about the project, the conversations that this project cultivate, attentiveness for overlooked goods. And then that's fine, that's great. And then you need to revise this so it's clear that the book has already been published. Then when we go to the next page, get involved, this is still pretty strong and pretty good. It's inviting people. But again, we just like wherever the book is mentioned and wherever there's like, I run this podcast, maybe we would say, we just need to always be thinking like this is a project that includes the podcast, includes the book, and maybe we want to bring up like the possibility of speaking events. I have spoken at conferences, so we could talk about speaking events as like a third leg of this. The Get Learn page, I think you said, well, let's just make that the book page. And I think that's absolutely right. I wanted to show you Mark Elsden's page. Whoops, this is not Mark Elsden's page. Melsden.com, I think it is. Yeah, here it is. This is his book page. It looks like he more or less made it himself. I don't think Erdman's made it, but could be wrong. But it's nice. It's very simple. It's got the book very large over here, a way to get it. You can start reading the book, and I'd be glad to share some of the PDFs with you for that. It has a summary, which we could take directly from the back of the book. It's quite strong on the back of the book. And then I have quite a few blurbs that people have offered in support of the book. So we can put those there. And there's a big smiley intro to Mark himself. So anyway, that's one example that for that third page that we might go with. Now I need to get back to my spiritual capital page. How am I going to do that? Oops. I'm so sorry, Annie, I've lost it here. There it is. Okay. And then the last one, the blog. Well, I got to get to work on that. I think I talked with the folks at Whiff and Stock yesterday, and they said that they're not too concerned about my using parts of the book in a podcast. I don't think they'd be too concerned about my including parts of the book in a blog entry as well, if I want to like tease people a bit. So I think I'm going to hop on that, and you've already got that linked up to Medium. I can go to Medium and start doing some conversing that way. Okay, well, I hope that gets you started on sort of refitting the website for sort of more book promotional purposes. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. Love you.